Hi, I'm Piotr from TVP. Um, and we all talk about streamers and we talk about our business, television, and this is something with the crime. It's really compelling as well as the live shows. So I'm very delighted to be here and to share some of the highlights from the TVP brand new crime series. So before we dive into the history, I just would like to really ask you a question. What would actually make you watch right now any crime series on the television rather than streaming services? And this is quite important question we all have to ask ourselves for the future. Um, um, so we began in 1965. Our very first show was Captain Sova. It was directed by guy who's Barea, who's very different approach to the television. Obviously, it was a communism, so you had to do it in a way that you have to respect your viewership and also respect the regime. So how do you sort of go in between the lines? So this is something which was very, very important, and hence the the viewership, the popularity as well. The next show I'd like to talk about is the single '07, not 007. Obviously, was based on that very show. It was amazing, totally amazing show, and I'll have to tell you that it still have a massive fan base. And every single time we actually put it on this scheduling is like basically an event. It's just amazing. Every single time we get massive viewership as well. And the funny thing about this show is that producing it long time ago, and obviously it was a long-running series, we still got all the questions from the private sector, private broadcasters who want to buy it from us. So we got few of these cold shows which we really keep close to ourselves, and at some point we might actually think about sharing it. And I think it's would be a great approach to that, because in reality we all have to be private and public sector. We all really have to be in it together. So that was very good show, groundbreaking, introduced to the audience to the new kind of anti-hero, tough, no nonsense, and he was just basically iconic. I mean, the guy is just massively famous in Poland. So after that came transformation in Poland, obviously. We had to be a little less, kind of around the show, just kind of, we had to really go into the bush. So after the systemic shift in the 90s, audience were craving for something new, and we came up with the Pitbull. Show aired between 2005 and 2008 and gave us a gritty, very unfiltered look at the police work in Warsaw. And it wasn't just glossy, it was straightforward, it was realistic, it was authentic, and just redefined the whole genre of the crime. And it's kind of very new benchmark for being authentic. It's something I really like to dive in from time to time. It's then we came with the crime entertainment or crime reality shows. This is something in between. It's a real police work, and it's just fantastic. We all know The Wire from the HBO. This is something we came up with called Glina, the Cop. Now it's another dark, very realistic. It's widely regarded as the greatest Polish crime series of all time. And actually, we produced 2 series. So right now we are in production after long wait. In production for the 3rd season, introducing same actors, but obviously much older. And we're expecting it to be very, very good. The next show is something very new. It's a new stuff, The Profiler. First thing you will notice here is that there's been a magic cultural shift, 2000s, and the leading person is not a man, finally. It's woman. Julia is, very much a woman, and she's a seasoned criminal profiler, easily one of the best in the business. She's also a mother, overworked. Her dedication to job cost her custody of her son, and now hoping to reconnect, she takes a rare break and heads back to her hometown to get some quality time with the kid. Obviously, quite important to get into the demographics of the viewership. This is like basics, but obviously a very, very important thing to know your audience and know what they crave for. The visit is far away from peaceful. Obviously, something happens. Local family is found murdered. Julia is pulled back in, and she's working right now with instead of working with the big city police force, she's working in small town force. So another set of problems, obviously. So you try to move the person from the big city to the smaller city, so you really can kind of touch your audience. The Carol, another obviously talent in our show, is struggling with an experienced team and no leads. She agrees to step in the case something happens dangerous, just kind of no one expected. So right now let's take a look at the teaser.
Krew! Łuska! Takie rzeczy tu się nie zdarzają.
Mamy trudną sprawę.
Poczwórne zabójstwo. Pomyślałem o tobie.
Wszyscy zginęli od strzałów z broni palnej.
Zabójca pewnie nie miał odwagi zabić, patrząc w oczy.
Kręcą się jak w przeręblu i nic.
Nie macie na mnie żadnych dowodów.
Dowody się znajdą.
Obiecałaś nie zabierać ze sobą tego bohactwa.
Yeah. So what's the appeal of the show? Obviously, female-led crime. It's kind of familiar setting for the audience, but it's very unsettling. It's very kind of dangerous and everything. And it's someone who we all can relate to, and it's not very clean person, not very clear of the motives. So what was the viewership response? So we got the average share of 5.7, and which brings us up by 13%. 3.5, which is great. And the most important thing for us is the ATS. Anything above 40% is just fantastic. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. ATS is right now the most important indicator of what we do. We will not have the reach we used to have like 10, 15 years ago. Right now, all we have to do is to take care of the engagement. So ATS of 51% is basically a massive success. All right. So the Profiler actually will return for the second season because of its success, obviously. Right now, we just writing scripts and thinking about the new characters and new talents. The next show I'd like to talk about today is Shadow Play. This is something as well quite culturally, relatable in Poland and in other, post-communist countries. It's very kind of noir crime drama set in Stalinist Poland. At the heart of the story is the Dr. Helena, a brilliant surgeon with a promising career. Her life is suddenly turned upside down when she's falsely accused of murdering the Communist Party official. She's sentenced and imprisoned, and she becomes entangled in the search of missing British spy known as Shadow. As the hunt unfolds, Helena paths crosses her ex-lover, who's now a secret police officer working for the regime. So again, we try to do things that get us closer to actual viewer. And right now, let's take a look at the teaser.
W Kopenhadze przejęli szyfrogram podpisany pseudonimem Cień. Aresztowanie tego agenta jest naszym podstawowym zadaniem.
Podobno jesteście majster od trudnych spraw. Uporządkujcie ten burdel.
Partia was wyróżnia.
Nie zapiszę się do partii.
Teraz ściany mają uszy.
Tu kapuś na kapuś.
A kto będzie podskakiwał, to wyjdzie. Ale nogami do przodu.
Znowu mam ci gnaty porachować?
Siedzę w O, przypadkowo wpadkowy L.
Po co pani tu przyszła?
Słyszałam, że może pan pomóc.
Zamkniemy wszystkie podejrzane we wspólnej celi. To rozwiąże im języki.
Right. So what's the appeal? It's the genre mix. Obviously, it's have to be complex because none of us is simple or basic. And the high production value. High production value doesn't mean actually high budget sometimes. It could be, but it doesn't have to be this way. So obviously, the budgets right now, it's all we think about. So don't think in high production value, don't think about it in the terms of spending a lots of money. The viewer response was quite terrific. Engagement, again, the most important key performance indicator is the 51%. It's adding 30% to the actual average share. 4 million viewers. Number one for us, basically. Okay, the next show is Bay of Spies. The first season is actually the reason I'm here today, as it took third place in last year's NEMS Awards. It was a huge honor for me and my team. So thank you very much, NEM. The story follows a young German officer who discovers his Polish roots and becomes a spy for allies. We get 2 seasons of that, and it's just really fantastic show. Obviously, it goes back to the Second World War. It's 1941, before Germany invades Russia, and the third player enters the intelligence war between states and Britain. So it's Soviets. Just quickly finishing it up, because just viewer response, at glance, engagement, 60%, absolutely fantastic. It brought us to, it was actually one of the most successful series in TVP, actually in Poland in general. So it was just purely pure money, basically. So that's the end. Thank you very much. I'm here with my team. So if you got any questions, need anything from us, please give us a shout. We're here. Thanks.